bonuses,
bandits,
and a lovely cheese pizza just for...
God damn, how hot was that pizza?
Super fucking hot.
Like, hot enough to burn the roof of your mouth?
Or the top of your head.
Oh! Sick burn.
Mm-hmm.
Sick fucking burn. Little Nero's. 10 minutes or less.
Yeah.
Just make sure that you put your statues in a safe spot.
And keep the change.
You filthy animals. Welcome to episode 50 of the Super Media Bros podcast. I am Midnight Agent Raw.
I'm Okame. Episode L. For 50.
L 50. I think we've kicked it off with just saying fuck it. It's 50 this time because it's L50 for all you Spanish listeners.
The L is for loud, as we demonstrated.
I can't even fucking do it.
Thanks, Harry. Or Marv. I'm sorry.
Marv. There's Marv.
What are you doing, Marv?
What are you doing, Marv? Don't move. Christmas staycation. Just because both of these are at home. And it's Christmas. This is the 12th installment of our Cult Cinema Showdown series.
And what a way to start the holidays by watching these two films.
Yes, with some Christmas fucking cheer. Christmas Vacation versus...
Home Alone.
Home Alone.
Home Alone.
Oh my God.
Home Post Malone.
Post alone. That's what I do when I scroll Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
I post alone. There's really not much we can... I say there's not much we can say. There's a ton of things to say about these movies in general, but I think we both collectively assume that most everybody out there listening to this has seen both of these movies countless times, or at least watched them each year. Because for me, these are staples. I have to watch these movies every year.
I mean, especially they produce, so many Home Alones at this point. I mean, you have to at least watch one or two at this, this moment.
Only the first two. I would only ever watch the first two, and I'm sorry for anybody that enjoys the other fucking three. They're terrible. Just fuck no.
A hard pass.
Very hard pass.
And then everybody's familiar with National Lampoon as well.
Yeah.
And, being that it's Christmas, I mean, you can't pass up Christmas Vacation.
No, hell no. And I guess we can go ahead and jump into Christmas Vacation.
We're going to Chevy Chase in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chevy fucking Chase. Guys, dare I say, out of the entire Vacation, franchise, this is probably the best sequel from them. Because to me, the original Vacation is just top notch. But this was by far the best one, aside from that one. To me, anyway.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I've watched them at least once or twice, but I never made it a habit to rewatch them like as much as you have. So I at least know what they are.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, I think my least favorite was European Vacation, and it's not because it's, I don't know. I just didn't really get as much enjoyment out of that one as I did this one as far as sequels go. This one is absolutely Clark Griswold being Clark fucking Griswold, but in a home setting with his family and extended family. So the fuckery is just there.
Yeah, because the shitter's getting full with him.
But, and I'd be very fucking surprised if this is so, for those of you that have not seen this, pretty much Clark Griswold wants to have a traditional old-fashioned family Christmas at his house without going anywhere for vacation. He wants to gather the whole family around in his house and
pretty much do the most over-the-top Christmas you can possibly do.
And I don't think anybody could go more over-the-top than Clark W. Griswold.
Especially with the tree.
Fuck. The tree, the lights, the literally everything about it. I think we could just do highlights of this film, honestly, because the story is really that. He wants to have a family Christmas. There is a subplot that he is waiting on his Christmas bonus from his boss to put a swimming pool in as a gift for the whole family. And he kind of spends the entirety of the film worrying about it because he hasn't received it yet. But there are a fuck ton of shenanigans along the way. Also a subplot, which I think is very funny, that points out that really yuppie 80s culture, as we touched upon with, actually, God, long while back. I think that was the fourth one with Fatal Pulse, how it was like that real yuppie kind of subculture. But anyway, like their next door neighbors like fit that bill perfectly with a great performance by Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Gosh, she plays such a great just bitch in this movie.
Mm-hmm. She got so tired of their shit, she went to Jerry's apartment.
Yeah, this is the relationship that drove her to change her name and move to New York and live in Jerry Seinfeld's apartment complex.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jesus fuck. So, anyway, all that aside, I think the first gag in the movie, which is in the opening portion, was really hilarious. If it tells you anything about what this movie is going to be, these crazy, for lack of a better term, these crazy redneck motherfuckers in their beat-up ass pickup truck kind of riding the ass of what looks to be a very updated family truckster.
Mm-hmm.
And basically the little road rage incident happens, and Clark drives the truck underneath a fucking 18-wheeler carrying a bunch of logs.
Right.
And he somehow gets out, and the movie is very slapstick. A lot of physical comedy, a lot of like, oh shit comedy. When he drives the fucking car off the highway right into the Christmas tree farm because they're looking for a good old-fashioned Christmas tree.
Let's not forget whenever he told the family to go, oh, look, a deer, and flips off
the drivers,
oh. And in such a casual manner. It was so fucking great.
He's got such the best, like, kiss my ass grin.
Mm-hmm.
No! Kevin McAllister's fucking with us.
Yeah, he is, again.
You son of a bitch. Stop!
Whoa, now.
Stop it. Don't be that
help.
way. Yes. Any fucking way. Back to the Merry Christmas, kiss my ass. Kiss his ass, kiss your ass, Happy Hanukkah of Clark Griswold.
Yep.
So they get to the Christmas tree farm, and lo and behold, they didn't bring a saw.
So out of some ingenuity, I don't know how, because they don't display it, they uproot a whole fucking tree out of the ground and drive off with the roots and dirt all intact in there.
You know what the fucking greatest thing is? That has become such an iconic bit of this movie that I think they sell inflatable, blow up lawn decorations of the truckster with the tree on top of it now. And it's fucking great. But it is a whole root that they pull out of this whole giant fucking tree that they put in their house somehow, cuts the fucking rope off of it, and it just fucks up every window it's around. And sap everywhere.
Saply.
Fucking sappy. So, like, he gets the tree. Cool. That's awesome. And then he drags Rusty Griswold out there, his son, played by Johnny Galecki, who most of you know out there as Leonard Hofstadter from Big Bang Theory.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, drags his son out to help him start putting the fucking Christmas lights. And I think, didn't you point out, it was either you or Alex that pointed out, like, why the fuck would you wait until the week of Christmas to...
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, it's like, why would you wait until the week of Christmas to fucking put this shit up?
Yeah, because it's pretty much like any holiday where, I mean, especially like Halloween, you don't go for the week of, it's like the whole month. So you celebrate from December 1st until Christmas is over.
Yeah, but that's not how Clark Griswold does it, everybody.
Mm-mm.
He's like, fuck this. We're going to wait till the week of Christmas and put this shit up.
Right when the family's like pouring in too. So he's like dealing with all of that, plus doing all the lights.
He spends a good portion of this movie. Well, I say good portion. He spends a good bit during the movie just putting these fucking lights on the house. And guys, watching this movie as a kid, it's funny to see all the slapstick, but I think Cody and I can sit here and speak for all the adults that watch this movie. At least for us, it gives us like such a fucking crisis of anxiety watching all this shit take place, because as adults, you're sitting here going, fuck, I want to be able to do Christmas for my family, and if this shit happened to me, I'd probably lose my fucking shit.
I don't know. When he was putting up the lights and he had the ladder almost hit the window, I literally cringed.
I remember that. You're like, God, don't hit the fucking window.
Yeah, because that would be the exact same thing I would do, be like, shit.
But Chevy Chase is so good at he's so good at physical slapstick comedy, like especially when he rips his arm out of the sleeve and the sleeve's just hanging on, because he staples the cuff of his shirt to the fucking house, and he's just awkwardly reaching fronting around for the... Oh, God. Yeah, because he falls back, and he pretty much, like, gets, like, tossed from in front to behind the ladder hanging on, and fuck that.
Right.
So, while he's stapling all these fucking light bulbs, 25,000 imported Italian twinkle lights, by the way, to the
that don't twinkle.
Not at all. Not at all.
According to, what is it, his dad that said that? No, it was Marty. His Uncle Marty, I think it was.
Art?
Marty.
Yeah, that's his father-in-law.
Yeah.
It was just like, what? I can't remember the exact fucking line, and it was like,
25,000 twinkle lights.
Yeah, he was just
goes,
kind of like...
None of them twinkle.
Yeah, he was kind of like, at it. But he finally, like, is doing all this shit, and the in-laws arrive, which this was the added comedy bit. Because you normally see the Griswolds by themselves, but you add the family element in there, and it's like, oh, God. And then the whole montage of when they get into the house, and I was immediately reminded of just extended family coming in that you've not seen in so long, and just having some of the most awkward conversations, some of the most bullshit. You know what I mean? Meaningless, not really meaningless, but throwaway bullshit conversation.
Right.
And right into more of things that you relate with, hard relate as an adult, such as when the fathers are asleep during the fucking parade.
Yeah, which, it was weird. I've never seen a Christmas parade.
I don't know, dude, but I don't know about you. The commentary that you could hear from the television was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
There's the Nutcracker. What did he say? Something about like that you could see the nuts or something.
You can see the nuts from here or something like
that's
that.
it. Yeah. The Nutcracker.
Because the wind was catching the float or the balloon.
Yeah, he's like, there's such a gust of wind, and there's the Nutcracker. He's so large. You can see the nuts from here. It's like, what the fuck? Oh, God. But, yeah, I just... That's how I feel every time. It's just like, God damn, that's overwhelming. Like, when you're around a lot of people, it's just kind of overwhelming. So, Clark, of course, has got even more pressure to make this...
Like, perfect.
Yeah, which he always does. And, I mean, there's a whole shit ton of things that happen. Even... Yeah, he finally gets the fucking Christmas lights working because there's a big ordeal. He finally gets it done, and he's wanting to present everybody the house with all the lights on it, and it won't fucking come on, and he loses his absolute shit. And one of the funniest moments in the film, I mean, he just goes fucking berserk on all... Like, he goes berserk specifically on the Santa Claus decorations with the reindeer in the yard. Because
he sits there and unplugs it so many times and just yanks the cords and just... Everybody's like, it's okay, Clark. It doesn't have to work. It's like, it has to fucking work.
Yeah, he just runs and beats the fuck out of him.
So his wife goes back inside the house because apparently there's a switch in the garage that flips this like master switch on to the lights. And like you can see the amount of plugins were used on that wall. Like there was like a good 20 of them on just the wall.
It's like a fire hazard waiting to happen, man.
So she flipped the switch on, and they finally came on, and Clark's like, behold,
like,
my fruits of my labor.
Yeah, he's like, everybody come out and look at the lights. And they're coming out, and I think what happens is, yeah, it was a funny sequence where their house is lit up, but every other house in the entire surrounding neighborhood and further area are just losing power, and then the nuclear emergency.
They flip the switch.
Yeah, and it was either his wife or his mother that flipped the light switch off in the garage, and
the first time it was his mom. The last two times it was his wife.
Yeah, and there's a couple of things that go along with this. One of which the neighbors that we mentioned next door, they get fucked with a lot, kind of third party by the Griswolds, because they just have an amount of shit happen to them because of this. Like whenever he was stapling the lights on, he pulls the gutter drain off, and a whole sheet of frozen ice flies through their upstairs bedroom window and fucks up their stereo system. Mm-hmm. Well, when the lights go on, the neighbors are trying to have a romantic evening, and they get blinded by the lights, and then when they get shut off, they break everything in the upstairs bedroom, and then the guy falls down the stairs.
Mm-hmm. Because it repeatedly turns on and off, and then as soon as they get adjusted to the darkness, the light comes on and just blinds both of them. Homeboy, like he said, goes down the stairs and like trying to, compose himself.
And then, meanwhile, Jaleel Reed-Dreyfus is upstairs crying about her diamonds, and he's down the stairs like, fuck this shit. He's like shaking his head like,
But yeah, like, basically, they're all looking at the lights, and Clark's like, going around, hugging everybody, saying, like, this is what it's like, blah, blah, blah. And then, out of nowhere, Cousin Eddie shows up. It's like, oh, Clark, you didn't have to do this just for me.
And I think it's hilarious because he's just so emotionally happy at the moment. He doesn't realize my fucked up cousin is here.
Yeah, because the entire time he's like, Eddie?
Yeah, he's like, Eddie? Why?
And he still goes around the rest of the family, Eddie?
Yeah, dude. And that's adds a whole completely different fucked up, element to this. Because as you know, Cousin Eddie is obviously not the sharpest knife in the tool shed.
Or the cleanest.
Yeah, exactly. So, or the sharpest knife in the drawer, sharpest, tool in the tool shed, whatever the fuck. But that happens. I wanted to throw a fun fact out there. During the sequence where Clark is beating the fuck out of the lawn ornaments, when he punches the Santa Claus, he actually, like, in real life broke his pinky finger. Mm-hmm. So he just resorted to kicking everything, and he kicked the fuck out of the Santa Claus and then started karate chopping all the antlers off the reindeer. They kept that take.
Yep.
Because he broke his fucking finger. God damn.
Broken hopes and dreams.
Exactly. The physical embodiment of a broken spirit is also a broken man. So, anyway, Eddie and them arrive, and I think one of the funniest parts of that was when they go inside and they're drinking eggnog from the Marty Moose things, and basically is saying that, what was the line where Eddie was like, don't go getting too attached to the RV because we're going to take it with us when we leave next month.
Yeah, that was the end sequence, but
yeah,
basically...
He chokes on his fucking eggnog.
Yeah, because the dog Snot, which was a Rottweiler that had like this condition where he would just like have so much freaking gross slime all over his body, he was licking water out of the tree basin, and he's like, oh, don't worry about Snot, he's innocent, blah, blah, blah.
It's like, he's going to dry the tree out, though.
Yeah, so they, they're walking through the house and talking about stuff, and, Eddie knocks over this little display that Clark had on his table. And then he goes to proceed about talking about, oh, yeah, it's a nice RV out there, but don't get too attached. We're going to be leaving here at the end of the month. And just spits all the eggnog out of his mouth.
Yeah, because they immediately go to a shot, like a pickup shot of an advent calendar, and I think it's only like December 15th or 19th or something. So he's just like, fuck, I'm stuck with this asshole for the rest of this month.
Mm-hmm. Riding on fumes to get there.
Yeah. I think the boss at Clark's job is absolutely hysterical in the asshole factor, but I think it's because Brian Doyle Murray's voice has that just kind of, nah. Because he goes to bring him his present, and then he's like, get out of my office. I have a lot of shit to do. He's like, he picks the phone up, get me somebody,
like anybody, and give me somebody while I wait.
I fucking love that shit. And Bill Murray's brother, god damn it.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact also, he, in the first vacation, whenever they stop off at those log cabins, he's actually the guy that rents the cabins out. So he's been in the other one as well. But anyway, there's another funny sequence when Clark and them go out to do snow sledding. And he talks about this lubricant that, because Clark's job is he's an inventor and he's working on a non-nutritive cereal varnish to keep cereal from going soggy in milk. So apparently, one of the other inventors over there has this this lubricant that is like 200 times more slippery than anything on the market, and so he's just rubbing the bottom of this fucking saucer sled. And in probably one of the most hilarious comic book-esque sequences in this whole fucking movie, when he just takes off on this thing, it's like a rocket going off.
Yeah, because like the split sequence when he pushes himself is literally just a snap gone. That's all you see.
And you just hear and just flames.
Melts snow and goes through traffic.
Into a Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
You know what would have made that scene better? I think we pointed this out when we were watching it, because Cousin Eddie says bingo.
Mm-hmm.
Right there, just get Matt Hannon from Samurai Cop right there. Bingo.
The stethoscope.
Exactly. But yeah, that happens, and then I want to say, shit. Was it oh god, I feel dumb. I can't remember their names. It's William Hickey and his wife, which I want to say are Clark's grandparents.
Something like that.
It's Bethany, Aunt Bethany.
And Bethany.
Yeah. So William Hickey is just a legend as far as cinema goes, but William Hickey's performance in this is really funny. He's got that old codger thing down to a total T, where he's he's this old grandpa uncle type that wears a toupee and smokes like big fucking cigars and
stogies.
Hey, get my stogie. And Aunt Bethany, the actress that played her, was one of the first Betty Boop voice actors.
Which once I heard her, that it made so much sense because I never caught it before, because it's like almost spot on.
Mae Questel, I think, was her name. But yeah, it's fucking hilarious because you just see more and more shit get piled onto this family, and I think that's also kind of, while he's worried about his bonus coming in, I think that's also another bit of pressure added onto him because more and more people show up, and that's more and more people he's got to worry about doing perfectly for.
But not only that, all the chaos that happens at points he has to make up for, financially. So he's like, okay, what the fuck am I going to do? His house basically starts getting destroyed at this point. All the ornaments get destroyed and stuff like that. So it's just like, in our sense, we understand the frustration there. If something goes to shit here, we have to make up for it with money. It's like, he just put all this, time and effort into getting this pool set up and ordered, basically. And now he's waiting on a check to compensate for the money he lost.
Yeah, because it's not even installed. He put the down payment on the son of a bitch. And now, like you just mentioned, and this kind of is more of the downfall of those things going wrong, is they're sitting there and they're about to, which this was a really funny sequence too, when Eddie and his wife, Catherine, show up. Catherine was in charge of making the turkey, and they all have dinner together, and the turkey just dries out, just so hard. Like, if that turkey were in a music video, it would be Sandstorm by Darude.
Mm-hmm.
It's dry as fuck.
Turkey,
Turkey, turk. Turkey, turkey, turk. But
jerk.
It's a really funny round the table shot of everybody eating crunchy ass turkey, and you just hear it's literally just crunch, and Clark's mom is dunking the turkey in a glass of water
just to get it, to chew on it,
pouring gravy all over it, and it's even more fucked up because when Aunt Bethany and them arrived, she actually wrapped up her cat as a Christmas present, and while they're eating dinner, this cat apparently, and they brought a Jell-O mold too, so apparently she put cat food in the Jell-O mold, which obviously Cousin Eddie eats the fuck out of because he likes it.
Mm-hmm.
Dumbass. So, Snots is under the table choking on shit that he found in the garbage. So you see that's a part of it where it's like, okay, dog just raided the garbage can and fucked the kitchen up.
Mm-hmm.
Cat drags the fucking Christmas lights under the chair from the Christmas tree.
Starts to chew on it, and then you just saw the lights blink off and on, and just the cat just burns and explodes basically.
Yeah, because Clark notices the tree is not lit, and he plugs it back in. When he plugs the second plug in, the cat just poof, and it was so Looney Tunes looking.
Mm-hmm. You had the outline of the cat on the floor and everything.
And he was like, "What is it?" Oh God! And it's just the cat outline on the floor.
Now, the next sequence that happens, there's actually a precursor to this because there was this scent that kept popping up that Clark couldn't put his finger on. And there was the morning before that where Eddie was dumping the waste.
Yeah, the chemical septic waste.
Into the sewers. And, his famous line, oh, the shitter's full.
Yeah.
And they kept smelling that odor. Well, the entire time that they were dealing with the cat, what's his name? The grandfather. You just mentioned it.
Oh, William Hickey?
William Hickey's character, he goes to the tree and starts to light up a cigar, throws the match behind him, and the whole tree just ignites because of the gas.
Yeah, well, it's that also, but the tree, what happened is, I think what happened there is they noticed the scent coming from the sewer because they take the chair out to the road, but William Hickey gets the cigar, and I want to say it's a pine tree, or something, and pine trees burn real fucking fast. So he throws the match from the cigar, and I think what happened is the dog probably drank all the water.
Dried it out.
Yeah, the tree dried out, so it torched which torched a lot of the presents too. So there's more fucking money. What the fuck else? Like,
I think that's whenever everything was starting to go to shit and Clark was losing his crap.
oh, you mean this fucking rant right here?
Yeah.
Where do you think you're going? Nobody's leaving. Nobody's walking out on this fun old-fashioned family Christmas. No, we're all in this together. This is a full-blown 4-alarm holiday emergency here. We're gonna press on, and we're gonna have the happiest Christmas since Bing Crosby tap danced with Danny fucking Kaye. And when Santa squeezes his fat white ass down that chimney tonight, he's gonna find the jolliest bunch of assholes this side of the nut house.
Yeah. Ha! Because, yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you be that pissed off at that point, though?
I mean, look at what all has transpired.
Oh, so far. And we're not even done. And one of the funniest fucking sequences is like, okay, the tree's fucked up. The garage opens up. And, which, actually, that happened earlier whenever he went to go saw the roots off the tree. He showed up with the fucking, obviously Jason has cocky mask with the chainsaw. So he brings the chainsaw out again. And just the whole family they know he's losing it.
Yeah. He goes upstairs to like wash his hands in the bathroom, and then his wife's like, "Are you okay, Clark?" "Yeah, I'm great." And then proceeds to grab the chainsaw, walks to the stairwell, and notices that that post was still shaky. Rips the freaking chainsaw on and just cuts it off. It's like, fix the post.
Yeah, fix the old post. But like before that, he had cut the tree down from the neighbors. Again, the yuppie neighbors. They were sitting there talking about how they didn't really need a Christmas tree, or they're saying something about like, "Oh, well, we need one. You know, where are we going to find a Christmas tree this late?" The tree falls through their fucking window.
Yep.
And that whole speech where Clark's like, "We needed a tree, and I
took care of it."
Yeah. So they get another tree, and he's got. This is how fucked up it is. When he's putting presents under the tree, like to kind of replace, he actually just says fuck it and puts one down in the fucking Walmart bag that it was obviously bought in.
Right.
Not even before then, the kids, Eddie's kids, were talking about how they were. And this is a thing about this movie that's a little, well, it's always redeeming. It's funny, but it doesn't lose that kind of family element where at the end of the day, Clark's just like an everyman trying to, take care of his family and shit. Right. So, obviously Cousin Eddie and them were poor, and Clark, gets them gifts for Christmas and stuff because apparently Ruby Sue, his niece, was talking about how they didn't have a Christmas the year prior. So, like, that's cool and stuff. But, he's starting to do all this, and obviously Cousin Eddie's sort of, for lack of a better term, a mooch, if you will. I think tries to make up for it because, like, during all this chaos that is happening, he gets a knock on the door because he didn't get his Christmas bonus, and he had mentioned it to a coworker, and that's where the old dude was like, "Oh, I didn't see this. It fell between the seats, and I was supposed to deliver it yesterday." Gives it to him, and you're thinking, "Holy shit, it's here!"
The redemption of the whole movie, or so you think.
Yeah.
So Clark proceeds to open the letter, and he looks at it, and you can see his expression in his face, like just disbelief.
We've all been here before.
So his wife's like, "Is it more than you expected?" He goes, shakes his head, and she goes, "Is it less?"
And he starts to crack.
It's a year supply
of the Jelly of the Month Club.
Jelly of the Month Club, and then
fucking Cousin Eddie with being ever so timely with his remarks.
It's the gift that keeps on giving
all year, Clark.
So this is the part where he just again goes on his own rant.
Hey, if any of you are looking for any last-minute gift ideas for me, I have one. I like Frank Shirley, my boss, right here tonight. I want him brought from his happy holiday slumber over there in Melody Lane with all the other rich people, and I want him brought right here with a big ribbon on his head. And I want to look him straight in the eye, and I want to tell him what a cheap, lying, no-good, rotten, four-flushing, low-life, snake-licking, dirt-eating, inbred, overstuffed, ignorant, blood-sucking, dog-kissing, brainless, dickless, hopeless, heartless, fat-ass, bug-eyed, stiff-legged, spotty-lipped, worm-headed sack of monkey shit he is. Hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
Did you get any Tylenol?
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure. But yeah, that's...
But do you ultimately blame him?
No, I fucking wouldn't, because I've got to tell you right now, like I said before, we have literally all been in this fucking situation before where we were supposed to get a bonus. It was either less than we expected or not at fucking all. I have had a couple times where I didn't get shit.
Mm-hmm.
And some people depend on that to actually save Christmas. And lo and behold, he needed it to save this Christmas. And it didn't come. Because come to find out, his boss
cut the bonus out
for everybody.
But after that little blow up, you see Eddie look at Clark and then immediately take off in his RV, which
for first time viewers, you're like, what the fuck?
But at this point, if you really pay attention, he's actually going to do what Clark is wanting to do, basically.
Yeah, and there's the whole squirrel incident where like a fucking squirrel has gotten in, and you're just like, how the fuck could this get any worse? Clark, and his dad have a talk. And he's like, yeah, we're still going to have a Christmas. It's all about family, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
So Clark starts to recite the night before Christmas. And in comes Randy Quaid, Cousin Eddie, with Shirley in handcuffs, chain, bow, everything. And he's in full-blown pajamas, which is fucking
with
hilarious.
a big red bow on his head.
So this kind of sets off a chain of events where that happens, and then the boss's wife has called the police, obviously. So they find out where this is at, and there is a full-blown fucking, which not beforehand, Shirley realizes what a piece of shit he was for doing this to his employees.
Right.
So the misunderstanding is being resolved. In comes the SWAT team, basically. They fucked this house up 9 ways a Sunday, dude.
Which is basically like there's a video on YouTube with the Kinder Egg scene where this kid opens up her gift and is like, oh, I can't have these. Aren't those illegal? And then literally it's just like a fucking SWAT team clip just pops in, breaking into the fucking house and just destroying shit. That is the equivalent of that on this movie.
Yeah, and I failed to do so. I really wanted to get, for both of these films, I really wanted to get a damage tally of how much money worth of damage it cost both of these homes. But I would dare say, just based on the account, this was probably worse.
Well, yeah, I mean, you heard Clark say when he got the checks, like, if there's any left over, I'm going to be, treating y'all to
He's going to fly
y'all
out
here, but not there. And I'm thinking to myself, honestly, dude, from with all the damage you've suffered in that house, you would need that money to fix your house.
Yeah, and the funny part was before then, the boss was like, we'll take whatever you had last year and add 20% to it.
Mm-hmm.
Which should more than cover it, considering the motherfucker he fainted.
Yeah.
But I think one of the funniest sequences is whenever the wife comes in, the boss's wife comes in, Shirley's wife, Beverly D'Angelo, Ellen, is clamping onto his balls the whole fucking time, like holding Clark's nutsack while the police are like, no, this is our first abduction, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah.
Because, like, the police walk in is like, nobody move. And then, yeah, she's sitting there holding his nutsack. And then his wife walks in and goes, oh, yeah, I'm so-and-so's wife. And she reaches her hand that's free to shake hers. Oh, nice to meet you. We're the Griswolds.
And then hand right back on. But wind up, the wife tells Shirley he's a piece of shit for doing it, obviously. And so he, everything's all well and good. Then they go outside because the kids see a shooting star and they think it's Santa Claus, and everybody goes outside to see. And they look over, and William Hickey, again lighting up a fucking cigar, throws the cigar or the match behind him to the chemical waste area where Eddie was dumping all that stuff, because it is a gas sewer drainage, and it blows the fuck up. And one of the funniest parts of that was the actual Santa Claus and reindeer lawn ornaments just fly into the air with the sleigh on fire.
So is there like Santa Claus flying through the sky?
Yeah, it flies over the moon, and in a second, which we missed the first one because whenever they went to say grace at the dinner table, they Aunt Bethany said the Pledge of Allegiance instead of a dinner prayer or whatever. So that happens, and then she just starts in with the Star Spangled Banner, to which everybody fucking joins in.
Even the police.
Yeah, play ball.
Play ball.
But that's pretty much Christmas Vacation in a nutshell.
The nut house.
It really is this side of the nut house.
Yeah.
But Christmas Vacation is definitely one of the more comedic, like really actually physical comedy, funny Christmas movies, but still retains a lot of charm in the end if you think about it, as far as like the subtext with, you know, him still trying to be a family provider and like, you know, stuff like that. It still has heart to it, and it's not all just a joke. It's a good movie.
Right.
A fun fact: John Hughes had written and produced this film. The music was actually done by Angelo Badalamenti, which was the Twin Peaks composer for David Lynch's series. And you're like, shit, Twin Peaks to this.
Christmas Vacation.
God damn. But yeah, it's a good movie. And I think that's the hilarious. The final shot is everybody goes inside, and, you know, he's like, I did it. Mm-hmm. But it's just him and Snots outside. And it's cute in a way because he's just sitting there with his hands in his pockets, and he looks down, and that dog's like, love me, please.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I fucked your house up, but please love me. I am a good doggo.
Please pet pupper.
Right. But it's a really good movie. I enjoyed the shit out of it, and it's something I watch every year. I mean, you can watch it year round, but it's, I don't know. I don't have very many holiday traditions that I do have, but like this is it. This is one of them.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm pretty sure it's a lot of people's too. So
yeah, absolutely. I don't know. As far as holiday movies, what would you where would you stick that at?
I mean, it's not going to be nearly as high as some of the other films I'll watch, but I mean, it's within the top 5.
Yeah, of course. But then I think another movie that everybody has grown up. If you are a child of the 80s and early 90s, you probably grew up watching a Macaulay Culkin film called Home Alone, which was also produced and written by John Hughes. And the music for this one was done by John Williams. Which, that's a fucking winner right there. And I think he was not going to compose for it, but he actually saw a rough cut of the film, and he was, quote, enchanted by it. And anybody out there knows John Williams has done like scores for Jaws, E.T., Superman, Star Wars, Jurassic Park 1 and 2, and like the first 3 Harry Potter films. Like this man has done...
Didn't he win Grammys for the music he made?
I believe so.
So that tells you a lot right there.
Or let's say Grammys, Academy Awards, I'm sure, for composure and things, which John Williams is legendary in film score.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if that tells you anything, like you're in for a good time. You've got John Williams composing and John Hughes, writing. So, Chris Columbus was the director, which again has done a fuck ton of. I think he's directed a lot of the John Hughes films, as far as like The Breakfast Club and shit like that. Which I may be wrong on the Breakfast Club part, but Chris Columbus and John Hughes had frequently collaborated. Any fucking way.
I mean, there's a lot of similarities with these two films.
Yeah. So, again, another film set in Chicago, because Christmas Vacation was in Chicago. And I would like to think that, maybe all these events kind of happen around one another, because it would be funny. So let's just imagine, if you will, the events of Christmas Vacation happen, and then you go clear across maybe, a couple of towns over within the Chicago suburbs to the McAllister house, where on Christmas Eve, I say Christmas Eve, the week of Christmas, you've got a house full of motherfuckers apparently ready to pack and take a trip to Paris.
That the main parents are actually paying for. Surprisingly.
Well, the brother of the father, Peter, is paying for them to go to Paris. But, I think this has been a long-standing thing where people are like, okay, if the brother, paid for this shit, what do his parents do for a living? And I want to say there was, a novelization that said something like Peter was a day trader and Kate was a fashion designer. Hence all the mannequins in the house and shit.
Yep.
Which, creepy as fuck, mind you.
Yeah.
But I mean, aside from that, it is a big fucking house, dude, and there are so many kids there. Which some of them are the uncle. Well, Kevin's other uncle. In Paris, it's like, fuck, dude, that's a lot of goddamn people.
Yeah, because how many kids were in that house? There was 3, 4, 5, 6.
Nah, I lost count, dude. It's the
at least, 7.
It's like a fucking Brady Bunch of motherfuckers in there. Brady Bunches of oats.
Brady Bunches of Hall & Oates.
Fuck yeah, holiday oats.
Yep.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, you basically open up to the movie where Joe Pesci, as a cop, quote,
air quote,
is trying to get the attention of somebody in the house who owns the house, because he's basically trying to get an idea of what the house is going to be like once they leave, or if they're secure. But yeah, the whole house is in chaos. Nobody's able to stop or do anything. Pan back and forth between pretty much everybody doing their thing. And he's just sitting there waiting.
Yeah, and then you have sequences. You kind of get an idea of how the family kind of treats Kevin McAllister as a character, because he's generally looked upon, like when this movie opens, he's generally looked upon as kind of a nuisance of the house. But I think honestly, it's because nobody knows how to really handle him. He's kind of unique as a child in this film.
Right.
That can go from his brother being a complete fucking dick to him, and then telling him stories about the
neighbor.
The old man Marty that is like, or Marley, shoveling the snow and basically saying that, like, he's a murderer or some shit. And his other brothers, his sister, or basically his cousins and his family just being a complete piece of shit to him.
Yeah, saying that everything he does, everybody does for him, that he's incompetent and such a baby and stuff like that, and he's just frustrated because nobody appreciates him as a person.
Yeah, nobody really listens or pays attention to him, and he kind of gets shit on. He's an 8-year-old, and what do you expect? I want to say Fuller is literally like the baby of the family as far as the kids go, but Kevin's kind of like, nobody fucking pays attention to me, and who wouldn't as a child kind of act out a little bit if you didn't have proper attention, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, they're all having pizza, which that's a lot of goddamn pizza that's delivered.
Yeah, it was like what, $40 or something?
Oh fuck no, it was like $122.
120, yeah. I'm sorry.
$122.50. That's because he kept fucking asking for like that. He's like, well, are you the head of house? He's like, yeah, well, good, because somebody owes me $122.50. He's like, Jesus fuck, man, that's 12 pizzas. Yeah, because Uncle Frank, dickhead, was like 10 pizzas times $12 because he was gonna pay for the fucking pizzas, and he cheapskated out on that shit because Kate was like, don't worry, Frank, we have cash, and just digging fucking money out. But Buzz winds up eating Kevin's pizza, dick, and Kevin gets pissed, and chaos ensues because they get into a fight. Food and drink and milk spilled everywhere. Well, his boarding pass gets wound up tossed in the garbage. He gets sent up to the attic to sleep up there. Long story short, electrical shortage happens. The power goes out. They wake up late for the airport. They miscount the kids. Go to the airport. Kevin's home.
Yeah.
To make a long story short, because most of you have seen this shit.
So now we go to basically they're flying to Paris. Kate realizes Kevin's missing.
Yeah. Then Kevin realizes his family's fucking gone and takes full-blown advantage, which, this is a hard relate as a kid. I would have done the same shit. I'd have been like, fuck yeah. Just here by myself.
Yeah. Having the time of your life.
We do all the things, man.
Bouncing on the bed while eating food and watching movies when you're not supposed to.
Which that was fucking funny. The whole Angels with... And again, getting into the highlights of this film, because obviously most people have seen it, but like the Angels with Filthy Souls sequence is probably one of the funniest things ever. And fun fact, if you own a Blu-ray cut of this, I think it's the Family Fun edition, or maybe some later editions of the film, you can actually watch Angels with Filthy Souls in its entirety, which is like a short film clip. It's by itself as a special feature.
Oh, nice.
And goddamn is it great. I wish I knew the actor or the actors that were in it, because the old guy, the old gangster man, is just fucking perfect.
What do I owe you?
Oh, fucking AC says 10%. Too bad AC ain't judge no more. And it's that old school, like, fucking 20s to 40s gangster shit. And it's amazing.
Film noir-ish.
God, yeah. Black and white. But I would absolutely watch an Angels with Filthy Souls movie.
If they actually do it, yeah.
That would be fucking great. If anybody out there is making shit and, has the money to do it, fucking do this shit.
But yeah, so there's a sequence with that movie where Kevin orders pizza for himself because, he didn't get his cheese pizza like he had originally wanted.
Yes.
And proceeds to, to get to the point where the pizza man walks up to the door.
Yeah, and this shit happens.
Who is it?
It's Little Nero, sir. I have your pizza.
Leave it on the doorstep and get the hell out of here.
Okay. Well, what about the money?
What money?
Well, you have to pay for your pizza, sir.
Is that a fact? How much do I owe you?
That'll be $11.80, sir.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Cheapskate.
Hey, I'm gonna give you to the count of 10 to get your ugly, yellow, no good keister off my property before I pump your guts full of lead. 1, 2, 10.
A lovely cheese pizza just for me.
I don't know. He didn't. The pizza guy didn't sound like he was getting his guts pumped full of lead. It was something else.
Yeah.
Just saying.
We also forgot to mention, in the very beginning of the film, you'll notice that there's a certain statue on the front of their doorstep that constantly gets knocked over by countless different cars.
Yeah, the first one was actually the pizza guy. And we can go ahead and strike off, too, because in both sequences that Little Nero shows up, because the sign on the pizza car is 10 minutes or less, so the dude is always in a fucking hurry to get the pizza out. So when he pulls into the driveway, he brakes real hard and knocks the fucking statue over.
Mm-hmm.
The American Express drivers knocked it over. And there's one point when the family lands in Paris, realizing they forgot Kevin, where they're going to call a crisis center to get put over to the police. When the police go check, the police have knocked it over too.
Yeah, because the deputy or the other cop was pulling it up and trying to, get it on there.
Yep. So, it's fucking hilarious. But yeah, so that happens. I mean, there's a lot of other things that happen, but obviously watch it if you haven't, or just rewatch it because it's good. This is while this is happening, Kevin pulls the oh Jesus Chrysler. Kevin pulls the prank on Marv. Is there
We're working on that joke.
Was
in construction.
Is that what that was?
Yeah. We're building up to it.
We're building up to it. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So yeah, Kevin pulls this exact same prank on Marv, which had been scoping the house out because they had tried to do it before, and I think this is where Kevin had all like the mannequins and the Michael Jordan cutout on the train, basically looking like the house was having a party.
Right.
So he goes back, and can I just say that the interaction between Harry and Marv is just wonderful, that Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern had some of the greatest fucking chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
They are one of the highlights of this fucking film altogether to me. I really loved when Daniel Stern puts his foot in the door and he pulls out and like his shoe falls off and you just hear shit.
Yeah.
Which fun fact, he snuck that in there.
Mm-hmm.
Which it's a PG film, but he definitely snuck that in there and they left it. It was really funny. So that happens, and that's the whole like snakes, line or whatever, because he thinks somebody. Which Harry is Harry's Joe Pesci, so he's obviously the brains of the operation. Marv is doofy.
Right.
So he believes somebody hit the house before they could.
Yeah.
So that's a whole thing where they're trying to case the house to get into it. They eventually find out it's just a kid by himself, obviously. And we'll get to that later. But the other sequences in this movie that are really funny is like the grocery sequence when he goes shopping and he has the interaction with the cash register lady. That's really, to me, it's funny. Then the whole conversation when Buzz over in Paris, is basically saying that there's nothing to worry about, but his dumbass is literally sitting there like, one, I'm not that lucky. B, this, and then A, 2, and then D. Like he counts 1, 2, 3, but A, 2, and D.
Right.
Like a dumb fuck. So you get a feel for some of these people and how their personalities are and how their characters are, which is another cool thing. There was some character development for some of the minor ones too.
Mm-hmm.
The subplot of this also is that there is a underlying fear of old man Marley because of the story that Buzz told Kevin. So he interacts with him at the store when he's going to get a toothbrush,
Yeah, because he tends to, stay away from him, period. But then he walks up, slams his hand on the counter with the bandage wrapped around his hand, and he proceeds to look at Kevin, and Kevin just fearfully backs away with the toothbrush, and the clerk and the manager are like, you have to pay for that. You have to pay for that. And he runs out, and one of the clerks, they get told to just chase after him. So Kevin's running, and he sees a cop down the street. That's a shoplifter. So the cop, his bumbling glory, chases Kevin all the way up to a skating rink in the middle of the area, and proceeds to slide across the skating rink on his knees while the cop is just, trying to get across himself, gets knocked over by one of the skaters, and Kevin just eventually gets away.
Yeah, which that was a really funny fucking sequence too, because what luck did this child fucking have?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. Maybe he. Oh, this may have been around the same time frame that Harry Potter was happening. Maybe he happened upon a liquid luck.
Yeah,
that's all I'm gonna say.
Felix Feliciatus.
Bye. So, yeah. Meanwhile, the wet bandits, Marv and Harry, are robbing the Murphy house across the street, and unfucking fortunately, Kevin's father has left an answering machine message where they discover that they are in Paris, so they're gonna rob the house that night.
Because Marv happened to tell Harry, it's like, hey, didn't you say that house was empty, or when it was gonna be empty? He's like, yeah. It's like, well, apparently they are empty.
And he's like, they're gone, and they call the house the Silver Tuna, which is really funny as fuck.
Yeah. But then Marv has a calling card for the wet bandits. He actually stuffs the sinks with rags and then flows them over. And then Harry's like, Harry's like, wait, you did it again, did you? He's like, well, yeah, that's our calling card. The wet bandits.
And I love that he just gets so bent over that shit. He's just like, that's sick. That's really sick.
Yeah.
That's not sick. That's a sick thing to do. And they're arguing, and they almost run Kevin over. And I think some of these are a little out of sequence, but basically you see the interaction, and Kevin notices the gold tooth that Harry has because earlier in the film he looks at him dressed as a police officer and he notices the gold tooth. So Kevin kind of puts two and two together. That is not really a police officer.
Yeah, and Harry's just like, I don't like how that kid looked at me. Let's see where he goes. So they proceed to creep in their van with Kevin running away. Kevin eventually gets away by going into a church nearby, and neither one of them wants to go in there.
Yeah.
So they take off, and Kevin's in the manger scene in front of the church in the little hood, and he takes off back to his house, gives him the slip.
Yeah, that was earlier before the party sequence happened. But then he winds up seeing them from his window whenever they discover he's by himself and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So the Marv and Harry talk about how they're going, and he overhears them saying they're going to come back around 9:00.
Right.
And another little funny banter sequence between the two of them where he's like, Marv is like, yeah, kids are scared of the dark. And then Harry, you're afraid of the dark too, Marv. He just starts walking off. And he's like, no, I'm not. Yes, you are. Not. You are. So, and that's fucking hilarious because can I just say Joe Pesci did really well for being in a PG movie? I mean, considering the fucker is in gangster movies and then,
Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, he is a foul mouth in almost every film he's in. Mm-hmm. So, and we'll get to it later, he actually has gone on so many Yosemite Sam style rants whenever he has to cuss in this film. And it's absolutely great. Because earlier, he gets shot in the dick with a pellet gun that Kevin has when they're kind of casing the house. No, that's whenever they first walk up to the house. Let's go ahead and get into the break-in because this is great. Because we have something to tell you to go check out.
Oh, yeah.
So they go to the back door and they're, being like, oh, it's Santa Claus and it's elf. And then, Joe Pesci is like, be a good little fella and open the door. Gets shot right in the dick through the dog
flap
with the fucking pellet gun. And it is funny because he goes on his tirade, and this is kicking off the whole break-in. Well, I discovered something on YouTube, and dude, your fucking reaction was priceless at this shit.
It was just they made such a gunshot seem so beautiful and innocent because every time it was basically vocoding the sequence where he goes, be a good little boy and open the door, and then when the gun fires you hear music like a piano here, bing, and just oh shoot.
Yeah, it's all done in a melodic way because I can't remember the user, but I'm actually I think we should put this in the show notes because it's funny.
Oh yeah.
So we'll put it in the show notes, and it's fucking hilarious because somebody out there and if you were listening, I don't know if you even come across this, but if you ever come across this and you're the person that did this, thank you so much because it's fucking funny. This guy had so much time on his hands that he took a vocoder, put this sequence over it, and he did a vocoder in 14 different ways, including the gunshot. So it is fucking hilarious to watch.
Like, it's almost like he hit shoot. Whenever he shot, you hear shoot.
Yeah, you hear oh, shit. But we'll put that in.
Yeah.
So some of the gags in this movie, like the traps. Let's just go over the traps because this is what we all know. If you're listening to this segment, this is what you came here for.
Mm-hmm.
Nice little hand-drawn map of the whole fucking house. There's everything from tar on the stairs from the basement up to the house with a nail.
With a nail sticking up on the last step.
Oof.
The overly iced front steps.
And back steps.
The hot ironed, basically, doorknob where he puts that, like, heating element on the knob.
Oh, fuck.
The Christmas ornaments at the window next to the tree. They're literally on the floor to where they walk in.
The iron attached to the light switch from the laundry chute to the basement.
The flamethrower on the back door.
That was lit as fuck.
The cellophane with the glue stuck on it. And
the feathers?
With the feathers on the fan.
The paint cans on the or on
the stairwell.
Yeah.
The rope scene when he goes to the treehouse across the window on the top floor.
Yeah, because it's kind of his getaway.
Yeah. What else was there? The
micro machines on the
floor. The tarantula.
Yeah, the tarantula. I think that was a little of an improv, but still, that was fucking great.
That was a nice, because basically towards
the tripwire right there.
The tripwire, but yeah, basically the beginning film. Whenever Kevin realizes he's alone, he goes to try and find something that Buzz has on his top of his shelf in his room.
His money.
He goes up on the shelves themselves and breaks every single one going down, including where the tarantula is sitting, so the spider gets out.
And it's been loose the whole time.
He's been loose the whole time, and then there's a whole sequence, which you pretty much heard the scream earlier, where Marv trips and has the spider on his face because, he gets the spider put on his face, and he just freaks the fuck out.
Oh my god, yeah. And then, like, the events leading up to it are really great because you see... it's a PG movie, and I think that me and you pointed out, because we normally can suspend our, disbelief, for whatever. But to watch this movie is really hilarious because it's a very Looney Tunes style of violence where they have all this shit happen to them, but there's no blood spill, which makes it even funnier because Harry is at the back door when Marv has gone downstairs. So Marv has gone downstairs, slips on the ice, goes all the fucking way down, kicks the door open, goes in. And God, dude, I still cringe to this day when he steps on that fucking nail because there's no sound at all playing right there, and he steps on it, and you just hear, oh fuck. And Daniel Stern has got the just greatest bitch scream, and that's when he takes the iron to the face and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, which I've said before, that should be Kevin McAllister's final smash if he were in Smash Ultimate.
Mm-hmm.
His final smash is fucking iron to the face.
Either iron to the face or the paint cans.
Absolutely. So he goes out, which I think this is hilarious because before this, Harry had gone around front. He slipped on the stairs like a couple of times. He's burned his fucking hand, and then he goes around to the back door, which is hilarious because the back door is right there, right by where Marv has already gone outside.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how he didn't hear Marv bust his ass down the stairs, but he goes in and that's where the flame torch happens.
Yeah, and torches Harry's head to where it has like a star pattern, like a flower pattern on his head. Because like part of the beanie gets stuck like in dead center of his bald head.
Oof.
Yeah.
Fucking, the top of his head looks like Kirby.
Yeah.
Like, when it's done, it looks like Kirby on fire.
Hi. But yeah, there's a whole sequence where they meet up after all the traps that they've encountered so far.
Yeah, because he busts a door in, and oh god, and I think this was really painful too, because Marv gets in the house through the window where the ornaments are, and barefoot, mind
and
you,
busts his feet on all the broken ornaments he steps on.
And Daniel Stern actually did that. But I mean, the ornaments were candy glass, but he insisted on doing it actually barefoot so the reactions would be real. And it's painful because there's like a tight shot on his feet, and he steps on one like sideways, and it's just, oof. Oh, fuck, it hurts. Yeah, because then Harry has gone and hit the chicken feathers, or the feathers trap, right?
Yeah, with the glue on his face, and then, yeah.
That's where they meet up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Marv!
Harry?
Why the hell did you take your shoes off?
Why the hell you dressed like a chicken?
Probably one of my favorite lines in that movie.
Why the hell you dressed like a chicken?
That's the Micro Machines sequence right after that, and then the paint cans, which, fuck!
And then leads up to the tripwire on the hallway, and they eventually get to the window where he's basically shimmying to the treehouse, and then both Marv and Harry are, shimmying across themselves real slow, and then Kevin pulls out shears to cut the line, and Harry's like, "No, Marv, go back," and just cuts it and slams.
So Wile E. Coyote, dude.
Yeah.
Just right into the side of the fucking house. Hard.
Brick by the chance.
Fuck.
Yeah.
And by this time, Kevin has gone across the street trying to lead them on. The house, this is the house they broke into before. It's flooded to shit, which that was, that sequence where he's running through the basement was actually shot in a high school somewhere. So they did that, and basically
he called the cops prior to that and said, "Hey, I'd come at this house." Basically, goes through the basement, the water slosh, and then they go upstairs, and then there's Marv and Harry waiting for Kevin. Grab him, proceeds to
hang him up on the door,
and just threaten him like, what should we do to him since he's
smash his face with an iron
or torch his head like he did mine. Or how about we just bite his fingers off one by one?
Yeah, and, prior to this, Kevin had gone to a church, and Old Man Marley was there. He kind of got freaked out at first, but they wound up... another subplot was, you find out that Old Man Marley has not been in contact with his son because he had gone to the church to watch his granddaughter sing in the choir. So Kevin suggests to him to just call his son and see what happens, and, good or bad, he won't have to worry about it anymore, basically.
Right.
So... Old Man Marley, I guess, was out shoveling snow, heard all this shit happen, and holy fuck, I mean, the force with which he smashes these motherfuckers with this shovel.
He plows them.
Oh, yeah.
Because he plows, I think, Marv in the back of the head and then Harry in the face.
Oh, he fucking, can we talk about how when he got feathered, I just had to point this out because it's funny as shit. When Harry got feathered, and there's the shot of them looking out the window to crawl across to the treehouse. He's got these two little wings in his beanie, and it looks like the Captain America feathers. Mm-hmm. Could you imagine Joe Pesci as Captain America?
The foul-mouthed Steve Rogers. Language is not...
Can we please... I don't give a fuck if it's like a Funny or Die sequence. Like, Joe Pesci dressed up as Captain America and, given, a good fucking monologue. Maybe that sequence in Casino when he's talking to the guy about his money and getting it in the bank. And I could just see it that sequence where he's just sitting there. He busts somebody the fuck up and they're like, "You can't do this. This isn't lawful." Being a vigilante, basically. And he's just sitting there and he's just like, "I don't give a fuck about jail because I'm fucking stupid. That's what I do. It's my business." And he's just like, fuck, dude. Gangster Captain America. I would watch the fuck out of that shit.
I mean, he would fit a little bit more in the 40s whenever he was during the World Wars. I mean,
it would be so funny though. Who the fuck would who would Marv be?
I mean, Marv would be Bucky.
God damn it, yes.
I mean, he's dumbfounded and loyal to him.
Would he be Fucky instead of Bucky?
Yeah. Or Tar, he's Stucky.
Yeah, a little tard.
Yeah.
There.
A little retarded.
Oh, damn. I didn't even mean to set that up, and I just did it.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
What in tarnation?
What? Yeah, he steps up. What in tarnation?
Mm-hmm.
It was a misstep.
Yeah.
A very big misstep.
And he nailed it.
He nailed it, yes. Nailed it.
But yeah, so basically, old man.
Sorry, it was a shingle that he put down so I could just fucking hot shingles. You say?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Marley basically shovels them in the face and the
Shovel
head.
Knight.
Yeah. Proceeds to get Kevin to safety. The cops arrive. Get the duo, the Wet Bandits, and they get taken to jail and everything. Big family reunion. Everybody comes home, and the mom's like, Kevin, yeah. And, finally feels better about herself because the whole entire time they showed her, she was just like, I'm a bad mom. Now she's back with her son. Everybody's like, doing their like, sorry, Kev, kind of, you're not such a bad kid after all.
We got to be suck asses now.
Yeah. And then there's a part where Kevin's looking out the window and he sees, Marley and his granddaughter and the son, having their little, hug fest, and he waves at Kevin, he waves back. And it's just, the heartfelt little moment.
That's
right
a good one too. And I think that's the other charm about this film is that I still I really do. Still to this day, that scene right there makes me tear up. It's a good scene. Which is funny because that wasn't actually originally going to be in there. They were going to the shot where Kevin. They asked him what he did while they were gone. And you can tell they were going to do it like that because of how long they left the shot.
Right.
When he says just hung around and he kind of grins and everybody laughs, they were going to freeze frame it right there, which was a fucking typical thing to do back in the late 80s, early 90s. They were going to freeze frame the shot and keep the laugh track, from the rest of the family, and then cue credits.
Mm-hmm.
But Chris Columbus was like, no, I think this needs more of an upbeat, or a good, full circle ending, basically.
Right. Because, what did happen to the old man, basically.
Yeah.
But
comedy.
But yeah, then towards the end of that part, in the background,
Buzz.
you hear Buzz. What, Kevin? What did you do to my room?
Fuck. Because you forget, he has fucked that dude's room up.
Yeah, like all of his shelves are on the ground, like shit's everywhere.
Dug through his trunk.
And now he's dead meat.
Dead fucking meat.
Mm-hmm.
Which that would have been a good freeze frame. Like, have Kevin be like, oh fuck. Like, have that oh fuck moment look on his face. Which it ends on a good note, and that's Home Alone, obviously, for everybody that's watched it. But yeah, dude, these movies are fucking just classics. We realize there are a ton of films we could have put on here, but I think for the first Christmas edition of this series that we do in the podcast, I think that's a good start because there's a ton of Christmas films to do. Even horror-based Christmas. There's horror-based Christmas. There's action-based Christmas. Traditional Christmas. And I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I'm just going to go ahead and say it right now. Die Hard is a Christmas movie. If you disagree, you are fucking wrong, and I don't give a fuck. You are just wrong.
End story, drop mic.
The screenwriter himself has actually said, it is a Christmas movie. Suck our dicks.
Because it's on Christmas. So shut your mouth.
Suck our dicks.
Shut the fuck up.
Don't be a fucking cunt. Shut the fuck up. Nobody even wants you here.
Suck our dicks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Stop being a fucking cunt. Suck my dick.
Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to hear you.
I love Filthy Frank.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish we would have had that soundbite. That's amazing. But yeah,
for any sequence that someone's going to bitch about something that we say, just the fuck up.
Yes, exactly. Filthy Frankum.
Yep. Frankly, we don't care.
Filthy Frank Castle.
Oh, wow.
God damn it, yes. Frank Castle
Shoot
dressed
the
up.
Fuck up.
Yeah, shot the fuck up. They were fucking cunts. Filthy Frank Castle. It is a pink body morph suit with the skull insignia on it. And that's it. That's Filthy Frank Castle. Yes, it would be a marvelous Christmas.
It would be. Frankly.
Yes, quite frankly. Bit more of a fun fact about the house that they shot this in. And I'm trying to remember exactly how the story goes because the house they shot Home Alone in had apparently been a big it was a big find for a lot of producers that were location shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a minute. I'm trying to find it because I don't want to be wrong about this. Let's see.
Intermission time.
Yeah, intermission time. Where's that Filthy Frank sound clip? That would be really funny as fuck.
Just slap it on like on a video. Just intermission.
Here it is. Okay. Sorry that took so long, guys.
We're back.
Just stop being fucking cunts.
It's like our dicks.
Yes, that's right. So, according to a Wall Street Journal article, the owners of the McAllister house say they were first approached by a location scout who worked with John Hughes. First, they were asked if the movie Uncle Buck could shoot at a house they owned, before they owned the one featured in Home Alone. At the time, they were trying to sell it and declined the offer because they didn't want to take it off the market for several months during the shoot. After they moved into their house, the couple was approached about a second film, Christmas Vacation, which they decided to turn down because they were renovating this time. So yet another 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. Where these movies are
Bacon.
Exactly. So like both these movies, we pointed out several similarities between these two films. They were both in Chicago.
There's a huge stink eye scene with the family in both films.
Yeah, because they stink eye Kevin in the very beginning for the whole ordeal with the pizzas and shit. And
the family stink eyes the boss in Christmas Vacation whenever they realize that he shortchanged everybody in his company.
So fucking hard.
Yeah.
Just so hard.
Both of the father figures in this film provide everything.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, they're like supporting everybody.
These are big houses. Mm-hmm. Both have big houses they were in.
Big families.
Yeah, big families, big homes. Obviously, the homes were connected somehow from the location scouting and the owners of these houses.
Both were destroyed in some way.
Yeah. Okay, I got it. Let's go ahead and decide, like, which film would you prefer over the other one?
I mean, I grew up with Home Alone more, so I'm more partial to that film. But I still appreciate Christmas Vacation for what it is.
Yeah, same.
So I'll give it that.
It's Christmas Vacation?
Yeah, I know, Home Alone.
Yeah, I was going to say the same, actually. I think from an adult standpoint, I enjoy Christmas Vacation as far as, like, God damn it, I understand everything. But as far as... and they're both timeless, honestly. To me, they're fucking timeless classics. But I have to give the edge to Home Alone here.
Mm-hmm.
Just simply based on, all that's being said. But
right.
Which home had the more damage done to it?
Christmas Vacation.
Yeah. So
I mean,
we're both winners here, obviously. But
he went through his roof when he was in the attic scene. He had his tree pretty much blown like completely up. The cat like burned a hole in his floor, basically.
The windows were knocked out by the SWAT.
Windows were knocked out.
His septic system was blown up.
The dog pretty much just ransacked the house.
Oh, it fucked up probably like expensive china in the kitchen, fucked up the cabinets it was on, everything, countless dinnerware,
The 2 explosions.
Yep.
I mean, the Christmas ornaments that were destroyed and everything like that. What else?
The newel post.
Yeah.
Gotta leave the newel post in that motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of the gifts that got burned under the tree.
Yeah.
The tree itself, obviously, I think we've covered that. Basically any of the shit that can we go ahead and just go and count Cousin Eddie when they're in Walmart and he's just throwing all that dog food in there? Can we just go ahead and count Cousin Eddie's mooching as like money that is not being put towards this shit?
Yeah. I mean, he puts like 5 bags of dog food in the basket.
Yeah. And I think it's safe to say that the shit that got destroyed in Home Alone is pretty much the stuff that can be, has to be, full-blown taken out, repaired, would be the tarred up steps in the basement.
The shelves.
Yeah, Buzz's room, pretty much. Just the shelving in Buzz's room. A lot of wood planks. Like, a lot of wood planks.
It was, within a couple $100 to fix.
Yeah, as far as just buying, wood to do this with by hand. Because, I mean, most of it was like micro machines and like pillow. It was nothing that you couldn't clean up, you know? But goddamn, Clark Griswold's just got the worst fucking luck.
He's got the shaft in this one.
Oof.
Egg.
Oof. So, guys, episode 50. This is episode 50. And we've made it to 50 fucking episodes. Holy shit.
Right.
Here's 50 more. We have the return of a flop 10 list for next week. Mm-hmm. And holy shit, we have a lot to say.
A lot of what has not been said yet.
Gamers, this one, I say this is for gamers. I really hope to fuck that some of these games, most of you out there should agree with us on, but we are going to do a 20 video game elimination style bracket once again to determine the flop 10 video games list.
And then do just basically tournament style, like you said, which is the worst.
And we'll rank them.
Yep.
From 10 to 1.
To give you an idea of how much of a shit show the video game industry has given us.
Yeah. And also, before we even get into the list itself, this is going to be a pretty jam-packed episode. Before we even get into the list itself, we will discuss the fallout from the Fallout 76 Bethesda bullshit.
Obviously.
And the real bullshit Blizzard announcement for the Diablo for iOS and Android.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah. Also, voting for the final Cult Cinema Showdown of 2018 is up on our Facebook page. We will have a link in the show notes below where you can go vote. We need an opponent for Street Fighter. Is it going to be Double Dragon or Mortal Kombat? Go cast your votes. The winning team's voters, or the winning film's voters, will get Super Media Bros button. Go fucking do it.
Now. So.
Yeah, go do it right fucking now.
Yeah, we're about to end, so go do it.
Just scroll up, click the link, because we'll even say, vote for Cult Cinema Showdown 13. Do it. Do it.
DD or MK?
Just fucking do it. And obviously, guys, we will be doing more of these in the future, because this has actually been kind of fun.
Oh, yeah.
We like to pick them out, but it's really cool when you guys get involved and say, hey, do this thing.
Yep.
Also, I would like to shout out some cool people over in Florida, the Untrained podcast. Go listen to those guys. They're really fucking cool. Beth and DJ,
do your thing.
Do your fucking thing. And DJ, I saw you voted for Double Dragon. So
we see you.
We see you out there.
Flexing.
That was a cool flex. I was going to say weird flex, but okay, but no.
Cool flex, but great.
Cool flex, but great. And you know what? Yeah, I'll put a link in the show notes for those guys too. Go subscribe and listen to those two.
Yep.
Yeah, and support podcasting. That's all I got to say.
Same.
All right. I'm going to get the fuck out of here with a little drum roll, please. Not the Clark Griswold drum roll that he so politely asked for.
Several occasions.
That was Cult Cinema Showdown 12, Christmas Staycation. Until next time, I've been Midnight Agent Raw.
I've been Okami.
Christmas ornaments on.
Shoes off.